What up, folks? Once again, it's your boy Tim with another ride sharing video. This one has the ominous title of the best times to drive, the most profitable times to drive. You don't generally hear that on this channel because I strongly believe that we receive shit wages and that you should never drive for base fare or anytime there are no promotions, bonuses, or street bonuses being offered, which is why this video is telling you when the best times are to drive. Now, I'm doing this video because I kind of take odds with another content creator that I have nothing but the most adoration and respect for. The rideshare professor did a video the other day talking about bait and switch that these ride-sharing companies, talking about Uber and Lyft, use to attract new drivers and rip them off. And the reason I'm saying I take odds with this is because I kind of disagree with the rideshare professor, which I normally do not do. So in his video, he talks about earnings guarantees, and I'm going to explain it. So if any of you guys hear this information and go, we already knew that shit, understand this video is for newer drivers. So folks who are just getting into business, which his video was for as well. What are earnings guarantees? Earnings guarantees mean that if you do a certain amount of rides, they guarantee you'll make a certain amount of money. To simplify it, do 10 trips, or better yet, if you do 100 trips, we guarantee at the end of a certain time period, if you do 100 trips in a month, we guarantee you'll make $1,000 for that month. Usually it's going to be within a week or so. Can you do 100 trips in a week? Very easy. You know, 12, 15 trips a day, you would easily get 100 trips in. So 100 trips, if you get paid $1,000, if they guarantee you $1,000 for doing 100 trips, that means take 1,000 divided by 100. That means your average trip is paying you $10. And this is where I have an issue with the rideshare driver suggesting that earnings guarantees are a bait and switch. There is a strategy to it, and that's what we're going to talk about here. Let me give you a screenshot. This is an actual screenshot from Lyft offering an earnings guarantee. As you can see here, they're offering a guarantee of $1,400 if you complete 60 rides within the given time frame. Now, here's how this should work and how you should decide whether this is profitable for you. Looking at the $1,400, divide that by the 60 rides they are demanding or requiring you to complete. You have to complete 60 rides before you can get the $1,400. $1,400 divided by 60 rides is an average of $23.33 per ride. Do it on averages. Now, think about the trips you take. How often do you take someone from point A to point B, and when they get out of your car, you are advised that you just earned $23.33 for that ride? In most cases, very, very rare, unless it's a very long trip. We're talking about Uber and Lyft paying well under $1 in most markets. Even if you got $1 per mile, which the vast majority of Uber and Lyft markets do not pay, even at $1 per mile, you'd have to literally drive over 23 miles on that trip to make $23. So receiving an average of $23 per trip is good money when you factor in the vast majority, the overwhelming majority of your trips are not going to be 23 miles long. So this is what I'm talking about on the most profitable times to drive. Here's a screenshot from Uber as opposed to Lyft. Big difference. They're requiring for 315 trips, they're giving you an earnings guarantee of $3,530, $3,530 if you complete 315 trips in a given time frame. Now, if you take $3,530 and divide it by the 315 trips they're asking you to complete, it averages $11.20 per trip. Now, that's significantly less than the $23.33 I just talked to you about in regards to Lyft on the screenshot before. Now you're looking at this and wondering, is it worth it in some markets? How often do you take trips and when you get out, when the passenger gets out of the vehicle, you're advised that you just earned $11.20? It's going to be far more times. Now, that's still, in my opinion, more than what most trips with Uber and Lyft pay, but only a little bit more. There are plenty of trips with Uber and Lyft that pay $5, $6, $7, $8. The $11 range starts to still be a little bit up there because, like I said, even at $1 a mile, that means you drove. You're gonna have to drive at least 11 miles to make that. And in my market, most passengers only travel between 1 and 5 miles. So there's a hell of a lot of $3 to $6 trips in my market that we're picking up. The last one you see below is offering $2,350 for 210 trips. Once again, $2,350 divided by the 210 trips that are requested, $11.19 per trip. Now, driving for Uber under these numbers is not that great. But the way to find out, which is why I titled this video, The Best Time to Drive for Uber, you need to know, because this video is intended for folks in every market. You need to know what are the average trips in your market paying. Do the math on these particular earnings guarantees and decide how much more than my average trip are they paying. Because at the end of the day, if they give you an earnings guarantee, like take the original number I gave, the original example, do 100 trips and you'll make $1,000. If you get a bunch of trips that are paying $12, $13 each, or you're taking passengers a lengthy distance, you're not going to get shit extra from the company on that earnings guarantee because you will eventually make more than $1,000 burning gas and using your own car. To make this work, which the rideshare professor, this is why I took odds with it, to make this work, anytime you are involved in an earnings guarantee, you want your trips to be as short as freaking possible. Because you know you're going to make the guarantee, so you want most of the money to come from the ride-sharing companies with no cost to you in terms of fuel, wear and tear on your car. So if you are given, do 315 trips and you get the 35-30 like what Uber is offering, you want every one of those trips to be as short as possible. Every lengthy, longer trip you take reduces the amount of money that they have to give you because you are technically earning it. So earn as little as possible. How do you do that? Avoid places where there's going to likely be long-ass trips. Keep your ass away from the airport. Do not go to bus stations. Do not go to ports, places where people are coming from out of town. Stay away from places where passengers are going to request longer trips. And the airport is the primary location where that likely happens because airports tend to serve a lot of surrounding area, multiple counties and things like that. So keep your ass away from the airport anytime you are involved in an earnings guarantee. And a good thing about earnings guarantees are, unlike street bonuses, you don't have to take every damn thing that comes. So if a trip comes up and it's 10, 15 miles away, turn that trip down. You want trips that are right around the corner somewhere, that are only going right around the corner somewhere. Bars and when you pick people up from the bar at 2 o'clock in the morning, they're not going long distances. That might be a good time to be out there. I don't normally drive nights, but if I'm trying to hit a street bonus, I want to be out there when people are going short distances. To and from work, for instance. So if you're out there doing rush hour, people are not going very far. However, like I keep saying, and I cannot say strongly enough, keep your ass away from the airports. That's when you're getting these 40, 50-mile trips. That is the enemy of making money during an earnings guarantee. So I just wanted to drop this video to show you that there is a time to be profitable when driving for these ride-sharing companies. Anytime they offer you promotions like this, particularly the one I showed you with Lyft, where you're getting $1,400 guaranteed for 60 trips, that's actually good money. That is really good money. When I gave you the math where it averages out to $23.33 per trip. Now in my market, trips are going between 1 and 5 miles. It takes time to go pick people up. I can do an average of about 3 trips per hour. If you can squeeze in 3 trips per hour, and I would submit that a lot of drivers can, You're talking $69.99 on average per hour. If you can do 3 trips where they're averaging $23.33 an hour, that is $69.99 an hour in ride sharing. That is good freaking money. So if you ever get your hands on a Lyft or Uber guarantee that's paying $1,400 for 60 trips, take that shit. That's profitable. Now, the Uber ride guarantees that I showed you, $3,500.30 for 315 trips, averaging 1120. That's not terrible, because if you do 3 rides in an hour, 1120 times 3 is $33.60. That's still not bad hourly earnings. It's not nowhere near what the hell Lyft is paying you. But at $33.60 in most markets, that's decent money for ride sharing. Just don't drive for base fare. Look at the guarantees, do your averages, figure out how much you're making per hour, and determine if it's worth it. And like I just said many times in the video, make sure when you're involved in earnings guarantees, you try to keep the rides as low as possible. Because if you're averaging $23 per ride and you keep your passengers down to 1 to 2, 3 mile trips, you're not spending much gas to make that $23 an hour. So do short trips and take advantage of the earnings guarantees. It's your boy Tim. Subscribe to the damn channel. We talk about this stuff all the time here, and I'll catch you in the next video.